It was a crisp spring morning in the small town of Willow Creek, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and the local park buzzed with strollers, dogs, and the comforting murmur of families. Claire Benson, a 32-year-old single mom and nurse, had just finished her night shift at the hospital. Exhausted but glad to finally have a Saturday with her 4-year-old son, she parked her car near Maple Park and let little Ethan run toward the swings. She had no idea her life, and the lives of many others, were about to change forever. Claire sipped her coffee, watching the children laugh and chase butterflies. That's when she noticed a figure emerging from the woods that bordered the park. It was a young girl, maybe 10 years old, barefoot, her long dark hair tangled, her clothes dusty and too big for her thin frame. But that wasn't what made Claire's heart stop. The girl was carrying 2 newborn babies. She cradled one in each arm, their tiny heads wrapped in mismatched scarves, their skin red and wrinkled from the cold air. The girl moved with quiet determination, her face pale, her eyes wide and unblinking. She walked straight to the nearest picnic table and gently laid the babies down on a folded jacket. And then, looking around as if waiting for someone to stop her, she whispered, "Can someone please help?" Claire's instincts as a mother and nurse kicked in instantly. She rushed over. "My God, are they okay?" she gasped, checking the babies for breathing, feeling their tiny pulses. "Where are your parents? Are you hurt?" The girl shook her head silently, tears welling in her eyes. Claire pulled out her phone with trembling hands and called 911. By the time the paramedics arrived, a small crowd had gathered. The girl remained silent, clutching the picnic table as the newborns were gently placed into incubator units. Claire stayed close, holding the girl's hand tightly. "Sweetheart," she asked softly, "what's your name?" The girl hesitated. "Lina," she whispered. "Where did you come from, Lina? Whose babies are these?" "They're my sisters," Lina replied, her voice barely audible. "You mean, your baby sisters?" Claire asked, stunned. "Yes. My mom, she died yesterday." The entire park went still. Lina's eyes stayed fixed on the ground. "She gave birth in the woods. She was sick. She told me not to leave her, but when the sun came up, she wasn't breathing anymore." Claire gasped, her eyes flooding with tears. "I didn't know what to do," Lina continued. "I remembered walking past this park with her once. She said there were kind people here. So I came. I just wanted someone to help the babies." The news spread like wildfire. 10-year-old girl carries newborn twins to safety after mother dies in woods, made national headlines. But while the world watched in awe, Lina stayed in the quiet hospital room where her sisters were kept in NICU, refusing to eat or speak much. Claire, despite not knowing Lina before, couldn't walk away. She visited every day after her shifts, bringing Lina warm meals, coloring books, and eventually, her son Ethan. Slowly, Lina opened up. Her mother, Maria, had been undocumented and alone. They had moved from town to town, living in shelters or abandoned homes, always afraid of being found. Lina had never been to school. She had learned to read from scraps of magazines and old menus. Her father had disappeared when she was 4. And when Maria went into labor in a deserted cabin near the forest, it was Lina who held her hand, boiled water, and wrapped the babies in the only clean cloths they had. "Mom said I was brave," Lina said one night, staring at the NICU window. "But I wasn't. I was scared. I just didn't want them to die too." Claire held her tightly. "You are the bravest girl I've ever met." Weeks passed. The twins, named Hope and Grace by the hospital staff, began to grow stronger. But the question of Lina's future lingered. With no living relatives, she was placed into temporary foster care. Social workers tried to locate extended family, but nothing turned up. Claire found herself unable to sleep, worrying about a girl who had started as a stranger and now felt like family. One rainy evening, she looked at Lina, curled up on her couch beside Ethan, and made a decision that would change everything. She filed to become Lina's foster parent, with the goal of adopting all 3 girls. The process wasn't easy. Claire's modest income as a nurse, her single status, and her small apartment were all red flags to the system. But she refused to give up. She rallied the community, and dozens of people, patients, co-workers, neighbors, wrote letters on her behalf. She saved them, Claire told the judge during the hearing, her voice cracking. But who saves her? If she doesn't have a home, how can we expect her to heal? The judge, moved by her words and the stack of character letters, ruled in Claire's favor. Lina wept when she heard the news. "You want us?" "With all my heart," Claire said. Months turned into a year. Claire moved into a bigger house with the help of a local grant. Lina started school for the first time. She struggled at first, math was hard, and making friends was harder. But she persevered. And every night, after homework and bottle feedings, she sat by her baby sister's crib, kissed their foreheads, and told them stories of a mother who had loved them with everything she had, and a woman named Claire who had given them a second chance. On Lina's 11th birthday, Claire gave her a small box. Inside was a silver locket. One side held a photo of Maria, found in an old wallet among her belongings. The other side had a new picture, Lina holding hope and grace, with Claire standing behind them, arms around them all. "You're not replacing my mom, are you?" Lina asked quietly. "No," Claire whispered. "No one could ever replace her. I just want to be here for the rest of your story." Lina smiled, a full, beautiful smile that had once seemed impossible. "Then I think she'd be happy." Years later, when Lina graduated high school as valedictorian, she stood at the podium, holding that same locket. She told a silent auditorium. "There are moments in life where you feel invisible, like no one sees you, no one will care if you vanish. I used to feel like that. But then I met someone who didn't walk past me, who saw me, who stayed, who chose me." She paused, locking eyes with Claire in the front row, who had tears streaming down her face. "I survived because my mother gave me strength, but I lived because someone else gave me love. And now, it's my turn to do the same for others." This story isn't just about a brave girl who walked out of the woods with newborn twins, it's about the unseen heroes among us. The children who endure more than we can imagine. The women who step up when no one else will. The power of compassion to rewrite destinies. Because sometimes, the smallest hands carry the greatest burdens, and the strongest hearts aren't always found in adults. And all it takes to change a life, is someone who cares enough to say, "I choose you."